And you live.
Aloha Snack Bar. It's the one, the only, the gorilla, the economist, coming with live with my main man, the leader of the troop, the rear guard of this vaunted duo, none other than CJ, the denizen of the deep, the uncanny one of the airwaves. CJ, what's going on, baby? It's Friday. It's time to be crack-a-lacking and breaking down the entire news, views, and everything that matters.
Heck yeah, it's Friday. It's time to get ready for the weekend, to chill out. But huge, yeah, a lot of great news yesterday. Again, just a continued big momentum. Lots of energy out there right now, V. Lots of great things going on.
Tremendous amount of great things going on, bro. I mean, there's so many stories where we can start, where we can begin. I think the most important story you could think of is probably. I'm not gonna say probably. I'm gonna say it is. Okay, I'm gonna say it is, and that is go to roguemoney.net. What do we got over there? We have the Russian. He has posted something. CJ, did I lose you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So basically, what's happening is that this Saturday night, Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump will be having their first conversation. So that's boy, you want to talk about wanting to be a fly on the wall in that room, right? And that listening to that
Man,
phone call.
man, can you imagine, Vlad? How will we take down the rest of the cabal? I don't know, Vlad, but it's going to be huge. We got to do it huge. It's going to be tremendous. The way we destroy the New World Order is going to be tremendous. It's going to be huge, tremendous.
I
Ja.
promise you that. I promise you that.
Exactly.
Let me send you some of Russia's finest vodka.
Yeah, seriously, man. Probably send him a bottle in a bottle of vodka, that gold bottle, which is like $3,000 or something like that, man.
Right,
But
right.
this is
Let's
good.
just hope he doesn't pull Hillary and give her the reset button that didn't translate properly.
Seriously,
Or Cameron and Obama's first meeting. You remember that he gave him the 25 CDs that wouldn't play on international players. So
man, it's going to be exciting nonetheless, bro. It's going to be interesting because one of the things that's going to be discussed is number one, those sanctions are going to be gone. We all know it. Anybody with sense, anybody who's the captain of industry within the Eurozone wants the sanctions repealed. Germany has suffered a tremendous deal of job losses because you have 6 million companies in Germany that do business with Russia. So the sanctions have wound up hurting them. I think the last number I checked, and I know it's probably moved up since then, over 600,000 jobs in Germany were lost because of these idiotic Russian sanctions, CJ, that make no damn sense.
they make no sense and they didn't accomplish anything, V.
None whatsoever. And the idiotic left who keeps attacking Donald Trump, he's Putin's puppet. He's this, he's that. Hello, dumb libtards. Who have, again, libtards are already dumb to begin with because of the lack of understanding of basic concepts, logic, and math. But they're even more stupider. They're even more dumber when it comes to the fact of understanding geopolitical breakdowns of how the whole entire world works, man. I mean, they're clueless. So this meeting is super important, bro.
It is, and you heard Trump last night. I'm not sure if you caught the Sean Hannity interview
Missed it.
last
Sorry.
night, but obviously he talked around a couple of things that I think will come into play in regards to everyone's slamming Trump right now. Oh, Trump is into waterboarding and torture and everything. Donald Trump is out to save American lives, and wrong or right, yes, he said that he's going to listen to his generals and what they suggest. But if you don't think for one moment that we do not have black ops centers stationed around the globe somewhere where these things already happen,
Correct.
then you're delusional.
No, 1,000%. And here comes the social justice warriors. You know, we should waterboard them.
Oh
Let's start with Shia LaBeouf and his stupid wall. Let's start with that.
so obviously that'll come into play, and then also Trump mentioned, I believe the day before, or was it on the conservative platform in Pennsylvania, where he spoke in regards to the Syrian refugee safe zones, and of course people took that to a whole new level. They're like, oh, look, U.S. is going to put boots on the ground and everything else. He was strictly speaking more of the humanitarian effort. It had nothing to do with boots on the ground, and obviously that would be definitely coordinated with Russia and Syria as well.
So let me get this straight. Obama administration completely destabilizes a absolutely normal Middle Eastern secular country, displacing tens of millions of people. The incoming president suggests something to relieve the humanitarian crisis over there, which is needed, those Syrian refugee safe zones, in order to prevent the refugees from going into Europe or even into the West. And all of a sudden now the social libtards have a problem. Am I getting that straight, CJ?
You nailed it. You nailed it.
Unreal, man. Totally unreal. Speaking of safe zones, what the hell's going on with the sanctuary cities that everyone, all the libtards were saying, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. There's not going to be no the sanctuary cities. We will resist. What's going on with that, bro?
Well, listen, they'd rather protect, outside of just one particular area that has announced that they're going to start taking some aggressive action. Miami-Dade County will be the first to terminate the sanctuary status. However, you saw the last couple of days, a lot of, mayors and governors came out from, mostly liberal states that, we embolden all the people, we protect all the people. Yet they have homeless out there that are walking in the streets. They have terrible, outflows of jobs, but they would rather protect, and that's where a lot of the criminals are going. So in a lot of other states, what happens is, these illegals will commit crimes, horrendous crimes, killing people, raping people, and then what do? They flock to these cities. So they're becoming like a haven for the deep element. And obviously, Trump is not going to be deporting every illegal. I think that there will be a period where there'll be some sensibility regarding those who are already here, right? Instead of breaking up the families, that hey, let's give them a grace period. Let's give them a 2-year period to obtain a Social Security number, to begin paying taxes, to go ahead and earn the right towards citizenship. So at least we know who you are, versus right now be that neither party has really done anything to address the true issue regarding illegal immigration.
1,000%, bro. 1,000%, because it is a social strain. It's an economic strain upon us. The numbers don't look good at whatsoever. And anybody who tells you, no, the illegal immigrants here, it's a net positive for our economy, that's a bunch of horse shit. Absolute horse shit. You don't know the game. You probably live in some libtard area where you don't see it. You come over to New York. You go over to LA. You see what is put out in terms of taxable work, and they're helping the economy. But how much are they taking benefits is the other thing that nobody talks about, and that's a problem, bro. And we just can't afford to start feeding all these mouths. It's not gonna happen.
So yesterday, the mayor of Miami-Dade County came out and he said, quote, in light of the provisions of the executive order, I direct you and your staff to honor all immigration detainer requests received from the Department of Homeland Security.
Boom.
Mayor Carlos Jimenez wrote in a memo to the interim head of the Corrections and Rehabilitation Department, as reported by the Miami Herald. Miami-Dade County complies with federal laws and intends to fully cooperate with the federal government, Jimenez wrote.
Of course, otherwise you're going to have your federal fundings yanked, and that's not going to be fun for you, Miami-Dade County, because at the end of the day, you might have your little immigrant love fest, your little illegal love fest, but at the end of the day, you require tourism to keep your little county afloat. And, you're going to need those federal funds. With that being said, bro, we got a canary in the coal mine, man, and that is home prices. The hedgies are panicking. The hedgies are panicking. What's going on with the home prices, my man?
They do. Yeah, the prices, V, in terms of, I covered when you had that family emergency in regards to some of the commercial real estate and the malls, the vacancy of malls that we're starting to see, and the huge slash in prices that they're selling off some of the mall spaces for. But now we have a report coming out that the Hamptons luxury home sales prices have crashed 43% year over year.
Yep.
That is just phenomenal from a standpoint that we've been told forever that the housing recovery is here, that it's kumbaya again, where everything is great. So U.S. equity markets continue to surge to all-time highs, and each day passing, something you would expect to benefit the titans of high finance in Manhattan, demand of luxurious multi-million-dollar weekend getaways in the Hamptons, has all but completely disappeared. Right. According to a fourth quarter report from Douglas Elliman, the Hamptons real estate market is in full-on crash mode, with average prices down 29% year over year in fourth quarter 2016, and volumes down 14.5. V. That's huge.
Monstrous, man. And this on correlation with all the apartment prices. I mean, high-end apartments in Manhattan, multi-million dollar, closet spaces. That's basically what they are. Multi-million dollar closet spaces in high-rise buildings in Manhattan. They're down over 20%. These are the canaries in the coal mines. This is what I've said years ago. People who've been following Rogue Money will not be caught off by surprise. We've been saying this for quite some time, CJ. We've been nailing this. We've been on the money with this. Why? Well, the fact of the matter is mortgage applications are down, the lowest it's been since 1965. You might say to yourself, well, V, that's not so bad. 1965, it's not that far. It's only 40 some odd years. No, the problem is this. In 1965, we had a population of 115 million. Now we have a population of 320 some odd million. Okay, so we have double the population, and our mortgage application rates are as low as it was since 65. That's unbelievable. We have money velocity that's not moving. We have a solvency crisis that is still in the banks. So there's still a lot of economic problems. All the while, the equities are marching up higher and higher. The bond market is starting to sell off a little bit. That's why you're seeing the bond yields coming up. They're artificially doing whatever the hell they can to keep those rates rigged at a lower level. But those bond market, look, there's a bubble in the bond market. People are going to be looking for safe havens. How are they going to look for safe havens? They need to go into equities. How do you get equities going again? Well, one of the ways you do it is mortgage-backed securities. Well, how are you going to have mortgage-backed securities, CJ, when housing sales are dead flat? How are you going to do it? And then interest rates are rising up, right? So that's not a good scenario. The only thing in order to get the housing market spurred again is they have to slash prices in order to move inventory so they can rehypothecate it and get it chopped up into MBS to feed equities. Feed equities. It's like a steam engine, CJ. It's like a steam engine train where they're taking the coal and they're putting it into the steam engine. That's what they're doing. Everything right now, CJ, is to feed the market.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you nailed it when you stated that rising interest rates, home prices, it's just not a good equation for anyone. And anyone that's out there considering, where a lot of those mortgages were at one point were refinances, right? It was a great time to refinance and get a lower rate. But now the rates are on a little bit of an uptick. Who's going to go out there and buy a $2 million home, right? I mean, right. That's just, and this is just a complete sign of that industry and that market collapsing as far as those luxury homes.
Correct, man. We got so many homes that are still in shadow inventory, man. I don't even know how many millions, tens of millions of homes that are left in shadow inventory, but there's many, and you got to get them moving, and how do you get them moving? You got to drop prices. You got to drop prices. You got to get the stuff off. Why? Because you're trying to feed the equities market. You want to get the mortgage-backed securities in there. You want to, start selling. You want to start securitizing a lot of these mortgages. That's how you feed the equity machine on top of the HFT trades, on top of the manipulation and everything else. This is about creating perception and bubble, and phantom wealth. This is how you do it. This is going to be why you want to feed equities. It's like, it's CJ. It's like feeding a steam engine. You keep feeding it. It eventually starts to overheat. It will explode. So we are heading for what I've been calling for the last few years, monetary hypoxia, where the dollar is going to go higher and higher and higher. It's not going to crash. It's just going to go through the roof and then explode. It's going to be in a terminal velocity upward and then die. Same thing with the equities market. Dow 29,000, here we come. Dow 30,000, here we come. Dow 40,000. It's even a possibility. It can go anywhere. But the point is for you guys to recognize it and take advantage of it. That's it. That's what's going on with that, man. And hey, what about all that pushback we're seeing with the all Soros? It seems like Soros is all of a sudden getting attacked all over the place, CJ.
Dude, he's going to be on the FBI's most wanted list here in no time at all. I mean, this guy just unreal. And now we have Canada that's also joining along in terms of calling to get rid of him. Yesterday Harley Schlanger nailed it in his whenever you were interviewing, and said, yeah, they've got to get this guy out of here. I mean, everything that he gets away with is just amazing, V. Just ridiculous, the things that he gets away with.
Absolutely, man. It says it's of paramount importance that Canada and other nations cut off foreign funding to civil society groups and foundations which operate within their borders. These foundations and organizations represent outside forces which have ulterior motives and agendas which may not always, if ever, be aligned with the needs of the people. one of the such foreign philanthropic, and they put that in quotations, or yeah, George Soros is so philanthropic. And if you can see my hand, I'm making a hand gesture here. But one of these days when I'm on video, you guys will see this. So anyway, one such foreign philanthropic organization is George Soros funded Openly Stupid Society. Wait, no, it's the Open Society Foundation. This foundation's sole purpose is to screw up and destroy and sabotage. Purpose is the promotion and expansion of liberal left international agenda meant to reduce national sovereignty, fund and support massive migration such as taking place in Europe, and promote the mandate of open borders. This whole thing with Soros is starting to spread globally. CJ, is one Western democracy after the other is starting to paint the target and the crosshairs on Georgi. Georgi's in trouble, CJ.
You know, he is. And the scary part is when you look at the Open Society Foundation, that they have begun infiltrating the education systems as well. So in terms of, you know, not only some of the education courses, the literature and these things that he's doing, this Open Society Foundation, they should be labeled more towards an actual like political action committee. You know, some of the things that they do to infiltrate and even try to manipulate elections.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. And the other thing is this, man, it just shows you how out of touch. You know, people are starting to wake up to the elites, but the elites have still yet to wake up to the people. That's the problem. The problem is the elites are so drunk. And this is what I'm saying. Like, if you go to one of my favorite economists from the early, century, and Samari's from Switzerland, and one of the things Samari has said is that the elites live in a bubble, and they talk with other elites who live in a bubble. So basically, you guys have to start viewing elites the way we view elites, a bunch of circle jerkers, okay? And that's why in Davos, CJ, they're just saying that maybe we should do wealth redistribution, maybe that'll stop populism. Nope, not going to happen. Not going to happen. You know, it's craziness, man. Syria, man, facts arrive in D.C. What's going on?
Yeah, so this was much needed, you know, as opposed to John McCain, you know, going over there and coming back and funding the weapons. Tulsi Gabbard, you know, I believe she's a Congress woman. She actually made a trip, you know, to Syria, and she spent quite a time there. And she actually wrote a great article published on Medium. And basically, what she goes on to state, V, is the fact that the Syrian people, there's not a civil war. Yeah, there was a tad of a political, you know, rising. You know, nothing more that it was probably obviously George Soros funded. But then what happened was, and she lays this out, Al Qaeda, you know, took this over, and they began to, you know, convert these, you know, minor protestings more into like, you know, huge scale events. So it's nice that the truth is finally coming out. Yeah. And so in this article, that it is clear now more than ever, the regime change war does not serve Americans' interest, and it certainly isn't in the interest of the Syrian people. I traveled throughout Damascus and Aleppo listening to Syrians from different parts of the country. I met with displaced families from eastern part of Aleppo and outskirts of Damascus. I met Syrian opposition leaders who led protests in 2011, widows and children of men fighting for the government and widows of those fighting against the government. I met Lebanon's newly elected president. And it's just a great article about as far as the message to the American people. Their message to the American people was powerful and consistent. There is no difference between moderate rebels and Al Qaeda or ISIS. They're all the same. So for her to come back 100%. With this, yeah, for her to come back with this testimony, and for her to spend, you know, I take my hats off to her for doing that. You know, I'm sure that they're slamming her for she met with Assad and, you know, detailed out. So it's nice that they're getting that message to Washington. Hey, listen. What we're doing is absolutely insane. No more weapons. We need to stop this right now. You know, she was former military. You know, I think at one time that she had interviewed for, you know, one of the cabinet positions. But it was great to see her do this. And again, just I applaud her for getting this message out, because we in the go ahead.
We should see if we should reach out to her, see if we can interview her, man.
Yeah, that'd be awesome to hear more about her trip. You know, this is a great article. It'd be great for her to detail that out.
Tulsi is an amazing person, and she's a total hottie. But anyway,
you know you're gonna get slammed for that in the comment section, V.
Yeah, probably. Total
But anyway,
hottie.
yeah. So
Anyway,
I applaud her efforts, and great job.
absolutely, 1000%. And that brings us to the last but not least day, the news of the day, and that is the Trump May trade deal that is looming. It is basically saying, what is it saying, CJ?
Well, and again, I'm going to refer. You mentioned roguemoney.net earlier, and
Yep.
yesterday, actually this morning, I was reading through a great article that Ken Shortgen Jr.
Oh,
put
that's right.
together.
Check that out.
And
Check that out.
and he really kind of details out regarding everyone stated, you remember what happened with Briggs, and everyone's like, this is going to destroy their economy, this is going to lead to economic downfalls in the UK. Well, it turns out that all of a sudden, I'm just going to quote it from his article, all of a sudden the UK received a shot in the arm on Thursday as the Office for National Statistics reported that Britain, one of the best performing economies of the G7 countries in 2016, despite the fact they voted last June to leave the Eurozone.
Boom.
Yeah, so boom. So Britain's economy grew faster than expected in the final quarter of 2016, showing no signs of the downturn many economists had predicted after the country voted to leave the EU in June.
So the circle jerker economists were wrong again. The boys from Chicago are sitting there licking their wounds, wondering why hasn't the world imploded the way we described that it would. Too bad, suckers. Your days in the sun is over. We're at the end of.
Yep, go for it.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, yeah, this meeting with May and Trump is huge. That on so many fronts. Not only meeting with the first foreign leader, she's also female. So lots of different things to go through, and obviously you don't want to politicize everything, but this could definitely show Trump's ability to effectively negotiate and come out of this with some definitely some confidence to help the Brexit and to finalize that deal. So very exciting.
Yeah, 1000%, man. It's going to be a brand new day. It's an American Renaissance, baby. Get ready for it. With that being said, guys, this is V, the gorilla in the Economist, and my main man, CJ. CJ, give you a shout-outs, brother.
Yeah, absolutely. Check out roguemoney.net. Again, those articles are there. Go out, be epic today. It's Friday. It's the weekend. So thank you for listening here this morning with V and I.
Yep, and if you like our new format, thumbs up. If you don't like it, thumbs down. Let us know. So far, the thumbs up are having it. So we might just continue with this. So keep going, guys. Keep letting it going. And again, if you have any debt or any kind of issues, check out myfreedomnow.us. Myfreedomnow.us. We're out. Take it away, CJ.